30 of HSL go underneath them. They're going to keep there in the position for now and wait for the aggressors to dictate the pace of the game.
Indeed. Gigantti. Defense. HSL running out with a free. They'll be running back into that Anna Sombra composition here, Tridd. Chow once again, a little bit better than last time, but I still think there is a room for improvement. His Hanzo was excellent before. Team Gigantti looking to try and get the CMP online as quickly as possible. Once again, they have to invest that second ultimate, so be it.
Into the breach they go, and Fisher, they get hacked up, but he's going to get the sustain coming in from Ding's Orb. They jump onto the point and try and take out Gigantti. Zappis being the first victim, and Milky Man hits back, claps back with 2, and will try and stabilize this for the finish. Roster again, that's 4 kills for Milky Man this fight. Everything's just being pumped into him, and he's paying Gigantti dividends.
Absolutely, and Chow suffers a nasty stall as he walks to run off the map. Great sleep on the Chow actually in the middle of that fight. Yeah. Prevents a lot of the counter dive, because a lot of people think that, yeah, the Matrix is really good, the Micro Missile is really good. The boosters are actually very important for making sure that a Reinhardt is peeled away from your own when your gets a little bit too low. It's actually a fairly significant boot. Now Team Gigantti, once again, Davin, he just rakes up the ultimate, dude. On the EMP already. Got it online. It's the big combo, the shot into the EMP.
And it's huge. It's a 5-man. And Fisher, the only person who escaped it, just gets obliterated right away. Same for Henningsen. That, my friend, is the one and done.
Gigantti look terrifying here on Numbani so far. HSL have not been able to get at all into this one. Chow, once again, sleeping. Might need to invest in an industrial strength alarm at this rate, and they just let him go to the depths of the city below.
They would have gone for the stagger a little bit longer, but he was so low HP that the sound wave from Lucio would have killed him. So with the rocket flare whip, there's not much else they could do from that one. I know they wanted to...
I'll let you go this time.
It's like trying to mug someone, but they got no money on
it's
them.
Like, well,
okay, well, just
off you go. I'll rummage through your pockets, that's about it. Team Gigantti now. I have that Shatter online and a Nano. If HSL decide to come through this small room again, when you do see Milky Man get Nano, he's going to be doing a hell of a lot of damage to in this small space.
Yeah, you don't want to be walking into that Nano Reinhardt, even getting the amplified healing from the Bionade that comes in. But more importantly, it shuts down a lot of the healing for HSL. It expires as the Transcendence comes in. But HSL already lost 2 and a mech to boot. Bionade still landing onto them again. As soon as that lane comes in, they have to run for the hills. They can't compete. And now they're being decimated. 1 minute 20 left on the clock. And they're making some changes here to bring Fisher on the Farah. They've only got the self-destruct coming in from Chow to try and contend this one, but they're now going on to a DPS-heavy composition to try and deal with the finish lineup.
Really actually quite smart here. If they can take advantage of the high ground and make sure they're not in a linear plane next to Milky Man, they cannot get off this Shatter combo with the EMP effectively. This is probably the smartest move, especially with only 55 seconds left on the board. And immediately Gigantti, they take shelter in the lower grounds.
Davin's going to try and catch Askoff and Fisher here. He's just seen him, and he's going to be in position to hit the EMP. He finds Chow and Fisher. Askoff will still be able to escape, but that's grounded. They need to guard the corpse now and stop Askoff coming in for the res. He's going to get hacked up afterwards to try and stop that from happening. Davin gets a bubble to secure this one as well. HSL, they've lost 2. Chow throwing in that self-destruct. And Ding's going to snipe out Zappis on the back end of this one. He can potentially be brought back into this one if he's left alive. And Ding again! He's not on the Hanzo. Well, he's on the Hanzo. He's not on the Zenyatta. Zapre keeping an eye on where Gigantti are, and they're taking cover. He's going to feed this information to HSL for their final offense.
Fisher's like, are you sure you can play the Hanzo? He's like, it's just the same as Zen, dude. I just throw out the projectiles.
It is not the same as Zen. What are you even talking about, Blank? Scouting arrow onto Zappis. He then pops the DM to try and eat any further damage. HSL have control of the point, and Gigantti are just buying their time right now.
Shatter is available, but you got to get past that shield first. It is laid down, so Milky Man can walk around, but so much pressure on him.
The Dragons isolated him. They just stopped him from getting the reinforcements. A Dragon Strike and 2 kills to boot. Make it 3. Ding grabs HSL, puts them on his back, and keeps them alive in Numbani.
Oh, he's deadlifting this team right now. But what's even more impressive to me, how many players have we now seen flex off onto the Hanzo on HSL? Is this their key hero? Is this the signature of HSL? It's the arrows, dude.
Does the H stand for Hanzo? That is the question. Is the H in HSL this particular Shimada brother? Like you said, Blank, a lot of players able to flex onto him and play him very proficiently. And dare I say, his Ding outperformed Zapray. Yes, we got a small sample size. No, he outperformed Fisher, sorry. It's a small sample size, but that was a pretty impressive attack.
Yeah, man. They will unleash the Nano onto the Monkey, goes straight into the backlines, but out comes the EMP to prevent any further damage.
He's going to drop down low. The barrage in Fisher's pocket. Pulse Bomb meeting up by Zappis. The Chow not going to find any value there. Ding, finding Leaf. Sleep Dart finds Fisher to cancel the barrage a little bit early. Wasn't looking like he's going to get anything. And there's a D-Mech. Zappis left outside of his Gundam yet again. He's going to get slapped around. Fisher finding free on the back end of that fight. And the HSL train, it keeps on trucking.
It does. It's not stopping anytime soon. Someone keeps lugging in the coal into that engine. And it seems to be Ding and Fisher so far. They're like, well, we need to get Fisher on this fire because he doesn't the work. So who are we going to have to play hands on? Whack Ding on it. He's doing work so far. Milky Man will find Zapray, however. And Team Gigantti would have a way to stop this with the EMP. But he goes down and there's no res on side.
Next target has to be Ding on the Hanzo. They send Milky Man up there. Dragon Strike will come through. Davin going down early. That should have been the fight for HSL, but things went a little bit airy for them. He's still trying to contend against the Hanzo. He's getting the support he needs. Fish is off to the side, firing these rockets at range. And will work at chipping away some of the beefier members of Gigantti. EMP comes in, will ground him, but he's on the high ground, so he should be safe for now. Zappe making the all-important switch over to the Moira. That sustain's going to help against the DPS, as well as provide that much-needed coalescence to deal with the aerial units. But Ding, again, Storm Arrow into Dragon Strike, point-blank range into Lee's face, and the palm to help him find Zappis. HSL move on to the final section of Numbani.
I'm pretty sure, actually, it was the initial arrow that actually killed poor Leaf there, instead of the dragons itself, just straight through the wall. That's a bit of magic there from Ding. And HSL Esports coming into point C with a great finisher ultimate, which is the barrage. He has to get multiple members, though, and now they're starting to focus on Ding.
Just like elastic, HSL snapped back. It was so dominant for Gigantti on point A, and HSL were taking control from now. Ultimate's being used, and HSL know that's their opportunity to step back. They are starting to lose bodies who were on the flank, mainly Fisher and Zapray. They're going to lose control of the payload, and Gigantti are looking to milk him for everything they got. That hack onto Chow, all but guarantees he'll go down, and now they're looking for Henningsen.
They know they have to do this well to make sure that they can hold here on point C as long as possible. 1 minute remaining. Pretty much maybe 1 or 2 more fights here for HSL. They've got to make them work. They will have the EMP coming into Dragons, and in these closed-off streets, the Dragons can cover a lot of area that Team Gigantti may want to play in, and Davin doesn't quite have the EMP online just yet, but you can be sure as hell he'll have it online soon.
Might swing in here into the high ground with the barrage. Definitely going to be dangerous for them to try and contend with. Why? You point blank in that little bow. That was ambitious. We'll pay the price. Zapray also going down here.
Wow.
They managed to, actually, I believe he cancelled out the EMP there for Zapray.
I think, barring a miracle here, Tridd, this is actually probably HSL's push done. Look at the ultimates on side of Team Gigantti. Unless something incredible happens from HSL right now and Davin's EMP does not find value, I don't see them getting back to this point.
Okay, so less elastic, more metronome at this point, or pendulum.
Or just an old elastic band.
It swung back in favor of Team Gigantti now, and like you said, Blank, they've got ults on the board to deal with what could be the final push. Zapray going over to the Reaper. The EMP's big. The self-destruct put in the pocket to find 2 on the back line of HSL. Milky Man's got the primal rage on the go. That's the one way to lock Ding down. Just keep him in the corner. You got Zapray on the Reaper. We already spoke about it, but that monkey's too big. He's locked up in the middle of the fight. Overtime's going to tick down, and Gigantti going to stop HSL in point C.
I like how Zappis and Lilbo currently playing like a little unit, 2-man unit here. Basically taking control of the upstairs, making sure that Zapray doesn't get free reign up there or any other hero who decides to hold up in near the mini. And I think it works really, really well. You give healing to your Diva, and she does a lot of damage. And alongside with the Lucio, with your Boop into melee and just basic fire combo, both of you do a lot of damage. You can take down a 200 HP hero very quickly. So HSL, like I was saying at the beginning of this map, they don't finish point C. It's a very hard point to finish. I don't blame them here. But now Team Gigantti, they've got a very, very clear-cut win condition coming into this one. And they're looking to make it 2-1 in this series.
2-1, push it to series point, and then hopefully close it out on our final map of the day. It's going to be Havana this week, as you would have known if you tuned in yesterday. And if you didn't, what are you doing with your lives? Thursday, Fridays, 2 nights. great Overwatch for you. You got to tune in. Keep up to date with the scores. This season has been wild. It's been hyper competitive. We're not having those deadweight teams at the bottom of the standings. Everyone's nipping at the heels of everyone to try and climb.
It really, when you drop by, it is like dropping it into the safari bus, basically, with me and Tridd. We just bring you through and we show you the sights, and usually they are magnificent. So definitely tune in 8 p.m. CEST.
Limbs, keep them in the vehicle.
At all times.
Don't go feeding any of these animals as well. You never know when they're going to bite back. That's exactly what we're looking for HSL to do here on the defense. Stop Gigantti from matching their progress and hopefully hold them on point A.
So Team Gigantti, they're running out with this composition that, similar to the one they used on Volskaya A, looks like it is more just for scouting purposes with very fast heroes here. Make sure they know what HSL are running. Fisher will be on the Ana, Ding on the Zen, so they also have that Lucio. So really, at the moment, they have the defensive capability, but they don't have that Brigitte with the rally or the stun. So Team Gigantti, they're relatively free just to move in here with a Pharah.
On the flank, and who's going to contend them? Looking for maybe, I don't know, I guess Fisher and Ding to try and do it? It's going to be difficult for them to contend. But,
okay.
You know what? I guess HSL have the strategy. It's ignore the Pharah, ignore the Mercy. We're just going to run the ground units and we'll win that fight.
They just like cock their ears. They're like, oh, I can hear the Pharah Mercy. Engage! And they just run at them. So interesting play there. I like it from HSL. They've got some ultimate charge on the board now too to start forcing the momentum in their favor. And 2 minutes 58. Have a couple more fights to withstand. And Ding still has to get back to the point. And you know the Milky Man will be looking for him as he comes back from spawn.
You hack Zapray, but what are you going to do with it? You do nothing with it. Able to stay on the point easily. No real contest coming in after. You're finding Davin being caught up, but he is working towards that ultimate. At least even closer, though. It's so free for him. He's in the sky. He's now getting contested by Chow, who charges at him with the boosters. He's in close to his own self-destruct. Nano Boost being committed to a member of HSL. I'm not sure who was the recipient. Zapray taking out Davin, so we'll delay that EMP from coming online. Leaf doing his best to deal with Henningsen, who has been anti-nated, which is now going to expire. Here comes the self-destruct over the sky, looking to ground someone. Zapray finds Henningsen. Lilbo will still go down in the chaos.
Good pick there onto Lilbo. We'll pretty much clip the wings. Team Gigantti is trying to move in here, but Davin now just wants to make sure he can get the EMP. He was taken out mid-fight, but it looks like Team Gigantti are looking to take position on the point. HSL, everyone's forced to the floor here, so it's fairly free for Team Gigantti to look for this position.
Milky Man takes out Zapray, who did have the Graviton Surge, got it off before he died, but no value to be found for it. He's better holding on to that one. Barrage up in the sky, takes Milky Man out. Oh, Milky Man, Henningsen. He's going to be caught off by that one. Transcendence rolling in from HSL. I think after Zapray dies and goes down and uses the grab, I think you play conservative here if you're HSL and not overcommit to this defense.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Transcendence there from Ding. Usually he's fairly on point with them, but maybe he's switching. We just don't know as they come into point B. But Team Gigantti, for all that, they had a convincing fight and they held onto the EMP, which is going to make this next corner where a lot of teams are held on the attack very easy for them to break.
Change over everyone to more tanky alternatives. Keeps Zapray on the Arno. Of course, Davin with that big boy EMP. Ascos got the sound barrier, so he's supposed to be the Guardian here, the one who can keep HSL in this next fight.
Henningsen currently on the Winston. Great at pressuring out the Sombra, but versus the Reinhardt, he's got someone to fear here, that's for sure. Fisher also with the Nano, can drop onto the Monkey.
Oh, Davin's been hacked. He can't use the EMP just yet.
That's very
actually
good.
Big from Zapray. And it will give HSL a window of opportunity to take control of the payload and take control of the terrain.
That's exactly what they're going to do here, Tridd. Make sure they can play on this corner. Henningsen currently uses shield, so closer Milky Man gets this shatter, the easier it is for him to pull it out here. Projected barrier comes out early. Davin now looking for the hack. Chow, easy pickings.
Oh, Battery, he's been hacked up again. They won't let Davin get the perfect EMP he wants to use, but now it's about to expire. He knows the rough cooldown. Hacks up Henningsen to stop him from getting into the fight with the jump packs. He can still swing the hands, but with the Bionade at top, it guarantees the kill for Gigantti. The Bionade now lands onto them as well. I'm fairly certain Davin could have had another EMP online by this time, but he's not had to use the first one in his pocket.
No, now Henningsen, Chow both make the switches upright. And here now we're going to have a Reinhardt in the way to make sure that the shatter doesn't come through. There will also be a counter EMP though. I think that's one that things the most interesting. It means that Zapre has to make sure that he doesn't get EMP'd himself, but it also forces the 5-member of HSL to be trying to make sure they can try and force out this EMP early. 3 minutes 32 just to push it around the bend.
It's a lot of time to get that done. If you had to make a prediction, you'd put it on Team Gigantti right now. Got that EMP, Shatter as well. HSL are lagging behind with the ultimates. They do have Askov, Sound Baron, and EMP of their own. They layer those correctly, could walk away with it. But there you go, grab into EMP. It's definitely a set play at this point. The Sound Barrier will come in afterwards, but they found 2 already. Make it 3. HSL are in disarray, and they just got to walk this one into the checkbox, and they will take away Numbani. The Shatter perfect onto Askov to be the celebration that brings Gigantti that series point.
The best celebration there. He just earth shatters the sky, and then Lilbo's done. Well, sorry, you just end Askov's life.
Yeah, Askov getting slammed into the ground.
Absolutely done there. Really, really interesting from Team Gigantti. Love what I saw from them. Zapre a little bit slow on the trigger there with the EMP. I think he was waiting in the correct position, wanting to make sure he didn't get found out, but I just came out a little bit too late, and obviously some members had already died. And that's something that I've actually talked about in other Gigantti games, is that really one thing that they do extremely well is the fact that their target prioritization is just insane. So when the EMP does come out, that split second when you're trying to get out the sound barrier, they will focus someone down and just absolutely obliterate them.
It's working out well for them so far. That's going to be the series point coming in for Team Gigantti. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to bring you map number 4. Welcome back. We're in map number 4. Contenders Europe coming onto your screens right now. Gigantti, they're in series point right now. They lead the series 2-1 against HSL, who have come out the gate swinging. Numbani, just a little bit too much for them to handle. Havana could be our final stop of the series.
Numbani was fairly spicy, and HSL just weren't able to handle the heat there.
It's one of those restaurants where you sit down, they give you the latex gloves to handle the chicken.
That's
like, how you know it's really spicy.
Yeah. Do I really want to eat this now?
Have I made the mistake?
always washing the hands as well. Make sure that happens. It's advice to all of you at home. Havana now. We're in Cuba. It's a good place to be. I actually didn't realize how beautiful this map actually was until yesterday. When
you're a little bit distracted.
Yeah, the observers gave us a nice little overview. I'm going to talk about it now because I did go back and I was like looking at some screenshots of Havana. Yes, I was like, whoa, okay, this is pretty good. But yeah, backwards and forwards. This is one intense series from both teams. Let's see if Gigantti can close it out here, or can HSL keep themselves in it for just one more round.
If they do, we already alluded to at the beginning of the series, that they come out with the win, they are going to have to do it on map number 5 now. That won't give them a map differential for them to take first place.
No.
And it will deny Gigantti first place. And who does it leave at the top of our standings moving into week number 6, Blank? Who does it leave?
It leaves the big boys themselves, the Clockwork Vendetta. And they will not have a vendetta anymore because they're at the top, and everyone else will have a vendetta with them in the end.
True, they will have a target painted on the back of their heads. HSL Esports versus Gigantti. Map number 4 happening right now. And
gorgeous map number 4.
Gorgeous map number 4. We have to add in that caveat. We will. Team Gigantti on the defense first, and I think Jaws and Legday alluded to it yesterday. It's very reminiscent of how we see Rialto played. A lot of teams holding right up at the spawn doors and trying to get as many fights as they can out on point A.
The interesting thing about Havana is the fact that point A is so long, right? And the reason that we actually started to see the resurgence of like Rialto being held so close to gates is because you can get 3 to 4 recontests just on point A alone. And you can almost even restabilize come the 4th push, because by that time, teams will both have used their ultimates and will be back to the neutral fight. But here we are, right at the beginning. HSL come out swinging.
They're giving him the space because Davin is behind HSL right now. Unless he translocates back to the team, yeah, he's going to do that. They couldn't find a hack that they were looking for to potentially contend this one. So they are giving away the space, but they still, like we say, have plenty of times to contest.
They do. We're on Ding's POV right now, and you know I don't mind it. The guy is accurate. Look at Milky Man's shield, just constantly low. He is under pressure all the time. And Milky Man's a very aggressive main tank, and further we've gone through the series, we've seen him just backing up more and more.
A lot of pressure coming in, especially when he's got the likes of Ding trying to break his shield. Zappe, early nano boost being thrown into Milky Man. No shield, only Hammer Boss as he walks forward. Finds the kill onto Fisher. It's actually Leaf being the one that picked that up. Chow taking a nap as well. Henningsen returns the favor onto the little Brigitte, who could. But tell you what he's going to do. He's going to come back with that rally into the next engagement.
Yeah, they really just need to survive here and be able to restabilize, because if they can, Leaf's got the much longer walk back from spawn and the rest of HSL, so they will be coming out. Make sure that they can go before Leaf does get that rally online and is able to use it, engage in this next fight. Zapre, he's hanging on to this grab, but look at Davin, ready with the EMP.
He's going to walk forward, bang, only finding 2, but it's enough to get the shatter onto the back line. Ding with the fast reactions, finds the Transcendence, and Fisher comes in with a rally as well. Now Gigantti are having to do it without the hack, and Chow shuts it all down by burning through Zappis. Henningsen finds Milky Man, and the Bionade is huge to slow down the tempo for HSL. But they're still going to walk away with the fight and keep the payload in motion.
And that's what I wanted to see this whole time. Let's go to the beginning of that fight there. When the EMP comes through, one of the only members that weren't hacked there was Chow. And what didn't you see come out almost immediately afterwards when Ding transcended was the Ana grenade. I believe that Chow was able to get the Matrix off onto Zuppe to prevent that from happening. And that almost secures the fight for HSL, and that's exactly what we wanted to see all this series. So despite HSL having a rough time on Numbani, they've come back nice and composed here.
Self-destruct. Jumps into the middle of Gigantti, but they're in cover behind the shield and terrain. Milky Man comes back out swinging with the nano boost. Taking out Henningsen and walking forward. Gonna have to protect his team from the damage that's coming out. You can't ignore Zapre's damage from the Zarya. He's at high energy and he's putting it to good use. but he will force him away. Ding using the Transcendence. He's happy to stay stationary and heal the rest of his team. Big EMP from Davin. It's now on Gigantti to make something happen, and Lee's going to do just that as Milky Man and the rest of the boys press forward and pick up the gifted kill from Ding. 110 on the clock.
Confusing fight there from HSL. I'm not sure why you invest a sound barrier after your main tank dies and then go on to that and use the Transcendence as well. As soon as you lose that Reinhardt main tank, you lose the big square boy shield right in front, and Zap really in that situation, Zap is able just to pile on the damage. There's not many places to hide here from the laser.
Graviton Surge going out nice and early, and there's no support ultimates to the side of HSL. This should be an easy fight, Gigantti, but they're going to commit the Shatter as well onto Fisher. And Davin's going to find Henningsen as well. That fight coming in strong, but they shouldn't have really lost Milky Man. And they made it quite quick, so not many ults being farmed out for HSL. They're making last-minute switches to try and overcome this comp.
I think that this is definitely last fight. Gigantti holding on point A here. Davin with the EMP. Zuppe with the nano boost. This is going to be very hard for HSL to come back.
Something's already found
Chow going down.
There's no one to stop this huge anti-nade coming in. There's the EMP finding free. You've got Fisher and Zapray, the only two people not affected. And they're going to try and contest, but how are they going to be able to? They have to get on the point to trigger overtime, and they're going to be able to do just that, but where's the follow-up? HSL have got nothing left in the tank, and the benchmark for Gigantti to walk away with the 3-1 scoreline has been set and can be met.
HSL just overcommitting once again, Tridd. The double support ultimates whilst the main tank is down. We've seen better from HSL. We expect better from HSL from what we've seen from this series. Gigantti are very happy to see them and put the line in the sand here on Havana Point A. And unfortunately for me, we don't get to see the rest of the map.
Well, you're right, Blank. We are not going to see anything further than checkpoint A, unfortunately. This could be an incredibly fast Havana coming in as well. You just need to conquer that first fight, roll the ults into the next one, and you could do this incredibly quickly, less than a minute if they're lucky.
Do we see HSL pull out the Clockwork comp, though? That is what I'm wondering here on point A. They potentially, what we've seen so far is they're very, very good with it, and it shuts down a lot of the free that comes out from teams. But Team Gigantti, they're on attack, so this probably isn't going to stay. HSL, on the other hand, this is an interesting comp they're pulling out with. I'm not sure how sustainable this is, though.
You are going to have two supports. Ding coming out the spawn room late, switching over to the Baptiste. He's going to come in, have that Amp Matrix online for Chow, assuming he can get himself the ult charge online. I think they're putting it a lot of pressure and a lot of the focus of this composition onto the Flex tank.
Absolutely. Does Chow pop off on the Bastion? I mean, he will be peppering Team Gigantti if they have to make the long walk up the hill here towards point A and towards their goal.
The Gigantti got double sniper. They can play at range and deal with the protected barrier from Henningsen and hopefully find Chow. They can also hide behind the payload, which is exactly what they're doing. You can't shoot through that.
You can't, no, but you can remove the shields almost immediately. This is the thing, though, is that even if you have double sniper, you're not able to take advantage of a crossfire because there is only one angle up and down the street. Someone will have to drop at some point, or a pick will have to come through.
The wall will cut off the sight lines, but really it's just putting blinders on because he can still go through. And Zapray's been found out. Askov can go in for the res, but it might be risky. Lee's found Chow. You can only commit one res if you have to bring it to the crucial pick. You no longer have the immortality field as well. This is disastrous for HSL. It's going to look very unlikely for them to stay in this. And Chow's been found out. The res is still on cooldown. A hook from Zapray brings Askov into the grasp of Zappos' death, and the Dragon Strike is overkill. It forces them away. The Amp Matrix is on the field, but no one from HSL is. Team Gigantti, with the 3-1 scoreline, takes first place in our season.
It's a masterclass with the hook coming out from Zuppe there, one after another. He flings it out and he pulls back victory each time. No old boots at the end of the hook. Any of these times, each time he gets a player and he removes him from the board. And then even then, he gets the right click, takes out Chow as well. This man is insane. We've seen him on the Hanzo, we've seen him on the Roadhog. Great, great player, all in all.
Better luck next time, Chow. Unfortunately, you still need to overcome those Finnish juggernauts. Put up a valiant fight, though. HSL is looking very strong this season. I'm liking what I see. Faltering a little bit there in the latter half of the series.
Yeah.
Not quite living up to the standard they set in the previous maps, and they're not out of contention yet by far. They're still sitting quite comfortably, I believe, now in third place, because Gigantti has now jumped up to first. And I feel this season in particular, anyone who's taking first place is just squatting in Gigantti's house while they go on holiday. And they come back and they get out of there, they give them the boot out the door, set everything up nicely, and then depending on the schedule, they may or may not lose first, but it's looking like they're always going to be retaking it for the last 2 weeks of competition.
Indeed. The good thing for Corporate Vendetta, though, is that their maps are becoming much, much, much more dominant. Where towards the beginning of the series, we were seeing a lot of 3-2s, but that was because they were very adamant on sticking with that composition, right? And then coming into the game, but now they're willing to switch up, so potentially we see them able to reclaim that first spot, but this game, all in all, I think it really is a testament to HSL's power as a new team coming out from scratch. But Gigantti, they are still insanely strong.
I think the strongest accolade of HSL is actually the versatility of their players. We saw multiple players taking on different roles, playing different heroes, a very diverse hero pool across the board, able to facilitate a lot of different options to attack Gigantti.
Many, many different options. We saw 3 different players play Hanzo. Obviously, it's Hanzo for HSL Esports right there. But you are right, that flexibility does come in massively handy, all in all. And I think that if I do want to see more things in the future, it's more swap-offs, more interesting compositions they can play, because it does feel like every player on HSL is extremely, extremely skilled. Gigantti, on the other hand, though, they just seem to be trucking away so far.
And that's one of the expectations we had from them. One of the only teams that was relatively unaffected coming in this one. Only one substitution, and that was Leaf coming in for Facility. And it's paying off well. Leaf's had some great series so far. That's going to be all from me and Blank for today and this week. We're going to go to a quick break. We come back. We've got Jaws and Legday bringing you Shoes Money Crew versus British Hurricane.